Okay, what we're going to do is design your truss in here and do a sample one so you kind of see how to do this. So let's open up Autodesk Inventor Professional 2024, locate it on your desktop, or you could search for Inventor down here to find it. And when we start this, we're just going to start with a new document. Right up here is the new, and we're going to go to Standard IPT. And once we do that, we're going to open up our template that we could design on. And we're going to start off with a sketch in 2D mode. So let's go and we're going to select Start Sketch. And we are going to draw this truss on the XY plane. And it orientates our view. And if we look at our design requirements and limitations, we have length of 11.75 and 3 inches of our design envelope, so it cannot exceed that. So let's make sure that we are within that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make a rectangle, 11.75, tab, goes over to the other box, and I could hit 3 now, double click my mouse wheel. That's the thing in the middle of your mouse, and it will zoom extend. So our truss needs to be within inside here, and the other thing we want it to be is most likely be symmetrical, so that we could have this, our static equilibrium equations, and it'll just make it easier. So I'm going to start off with this because we're only going to design half, and we'll mirror it over. So everything I do, we're going to do on this side. So we could start this off using the offset tool because I'm going to just simply make the bottom of this, and for this I am going to actually trim my right side away because we're only going to be designing half. I trim that because it's a piece, so I just hit escape and hit delete. Alright, so my side of my truss is going to go in here, and I can start using the offset tool. And when you use offset, it wants to loop everything together. So if I right click on my line, I could take off loop select, and I select the bottom, and then I right click again and hit continue. I'm offsetting my bottom, and if we look at our truss design, our members are 0.125. All of them are going to be 0.125. So I'm going to do 0.125, and there would be a bottom piece. And then if I wanted to make a midpoint truss piece right here, I wouldn't actually offset it in eighth because we're in the middle, so I have to do half of an eighth. So pro tip, if you ever want to divide a fraction in half, just double the denominator. So when I offset this and right click continue again, we're going to do it 1/16 because that's half of an eighth. All right, and then now I'm going to go and I'm going to make just a piece going off like this, and my math is 3 I decided to do, and then I'm going to have it go down and connect. So I'm going to click on these pieces I no longer need and hit delete. And what I'm going to do next is offset this piece and this piece. Right click again to continue. And that's 0.125. And got some cleaning up to do in a minute. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a middle support piece down here from corner to corner. And I'm going to set this again. Again, this is my middle, so I'm going to offset it 1/16. Think about what you're doing, where your lines are going, because I want my member to be supporting both of the side and the top. And so by making the member, using the 16th, it kind of supports both the top and bottom right there. And then you know what? I am going to make one more member going here. Constraints, and again, offset. Right click, continue. Hopefully you're seeing a pattern here. I'm going to do a 16th on this one again, because again, I want my member to be supporting. But now obviously I have some trimming to do. All right. Also, I'm missing a line down here, if you noticed. I know you did because you're paying attention. Smart too. So I'm going to hit trim. And a couple ways I could trim. I just click on my pieces, all right, because we want this to be open. Or I have my fancy way where I left click and hold, and I could kind of do this ziggy little pattern here, and anything that touches it will be trimmed. And I just cleaned up that joint pretty lickety split. So pretty nifty little tool if you ask me. And I just cleaned up all my joints. And now, you know what? I'm happy with my truss. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a mirror. All right, notice how the select tool is kind of highlighted. So I'm actually going to select everything but this line. And so if I hit Control, I could deselect it. So I selected everything by making a box around it, and then I deselected this because when I select my mirror line, now I just hit mirror line, I selected it, I hit Apply, and there is my truss. It's symmetrical, and we know that it's in my design envelope of 3 inches tall, and let's just check it to make sure. 11.75 because I started off with that box first. There is my completed truss that we will put into the laser to test and see how much force it could hold. So to finish this, I'm going to hit Finish Sketch, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the Save button, and I'm going to go and I'm going to save it in my H drive. Look, there's my name, H drive, Toast J. All right. And I have a POE folder. If you don't have a POE folder, look at this. Create new folder. Bam! I could call it POE. You're hacking now. And I go in here, and mine's organized by, somewhat organized, and I could call it Truss 1 because you're going to be designing several of these, all right? And I save it, and it's saved, all right? There you go. Slay it, kids.